Help me reach 1,500 subscribers. She presented her final warning the way someone presents a verdict: cold, deliberate, rehearsed. A slim envelope rested between her fingers, my name etched across it in harsh, unforgiving strokes, as if anger itself had guided the pen. Her jaw was clenched, her eyes sharp with certainty. This was the moment she believed would break me. "This is the end," she said flatly. "There won't be another chance." I took the envelope from her hand. It was surprisingly light, almost empty, yet she believed it carried the weight of my future. I didn't tear it open. I didn't even glance at it. Instead, I smiled, not to provoke her but because something inside me was already free. "Good," I replied calmly. "I stopped needing this a long time ago." That smile rattled her more than rage ever could have. I saw it immediately, the slight pause, the stiffness in her shoulders, the way the speech she had practiced so carefully began to unravel. She had prepared for fear. She expected bargaining. Maybe even tears. What she didn't expect was peace. For years she had ruled our life with warnings. At first they came disguised as advice. Gentle suggestions. Then they sharpened into demands. Fix this. Change that. Earn more. Talk less. Be smaller. Be quieter. Smile when I tell you to. Every ultimatum was wrapped in the language of love, but each one chipped away at who I was. And I let it happen. I told myself compromise was strength. That endurance was devotion. That loyalty meant swallowing discomfort. Slowly, I adjusted myself to fit the shape she preferred, shrinking parts of me I once valued. Until one night, standing alone in front of a mirror, I realized I didn't recognize the man staring back. That was the night everything changed. I didn't confront her. I didn't argue. I didn't demand fairness or understanding. I simply went quiet. Not in defeat, but in resolve. I stopped trying to be heard and started preparing. I rebuilt my career in the background, attending meetings she dismissed as meaningless. I made connections she thought were irrelevant. I moved money she never noticed. I reached out to people she had convinced me were beneath us, people who reminded me who I used to be. I learned the power of patience, of listening, of letting myself be underestimated. So when she finally handed me that final warning, she was already too late. "What do you mean?" she snapped, the certainty in her voice beginning to crack. I placed the envelope on the table between us, untouched. "I mean," I said evenly, "your warnings were meant to scare me into submission. And for a while they worked. But somewhere along the way, I outgrew the fear." Her voice rose, sharp and frantic. "If you ignore this, you'll regret it." I stood up slowly, without anger, without urgency. "No," I said. "Regret is choosing to stay where you are no longer respected." The air in the room shifted. She could feel it. She wasn't talking to the man who flinched at ultimatums anymore. This one wasn't pleading. He wasn't furious. He wasn't asking for permission. He was finished. In the weeks that followed, everything she thought she controlled fell apart. Her threats lost their power. The leverage she believed she held evaporated. The people she assumed would stand beside her began asking questions she couldn't answer. And that final warning, the one she believed would destroy me, became nothing more than evidence of how deeply she had misjudged me. The last time we spoke, her voice was quiet, almost unsure. "When did you stop needing me?" she asked. I paused before answering. Then I told her the truth. When I learned that peace doesn't require approval. And I walked away, not fueled by anger, not chasing revenge, but carrying the quiet certainty of someone who had already won long before the final warning was ever written.